We're back on a second half here. I've got Lisa Bazzelli as a guest. My name is Snowhorse of Snowhorse and the Polar Bear, and my given name is Lisa also. Not the last name is not also. So we were talking about Lisa being familiar with the native ways and the Red Road, and I, have her here because there are all sorts of ways to get to an entity that can give you answers that I refer to as God. The native way, I'm very familiar with it, but if I were to follow anything other than what I call Christianity, and I call Christianity something different than most other than it's just about Christ, is that the native way or indigenous tribes, they're just connected. They give reverence to all that lives and breathes and the things that don't breathe. And in my mind, the original people, I don't know if they're the revamped version of natives today are anything more than the Christians that are out there wayward saying they're Christian and don't act like it, but we're looking for not religion but the faith and some understanding, seeking advice and answers.
Yeah, I like the way you put that.
I don't seek people.
Mhm.
I seek understanding that surpasses all human knowledge, and I've been blessed to get it. The only reason I'm willing to come and do this podcast is, frankly, people need to know some stuff, and they've sought me out for decades now for information. I receive information, and if I can give pieces of stories and testimony and knowledge that you out there listening can glean information, amen. It shouldn't be costly. And when people come to see people like myself that get answers, I call it God. I've been called a prophet in the churches. I've been called psychic by other people. I am noted as an animal communicator. Frankly, I think anybody can do this. But because I separated out from people, when I was born and raised, I just saw people acting stupid. And I thought, I can't be one of those. It's just who I was. And so I find out it's true. I'm just not one of those. And then to find out there's a dude named Jesus that wasn't just one of those either. I'm thinking, there's my family,
That's a wonderful thing.
And to be gifted, like when you were saying, Lisa, about the elders that cared for you, the real ones that cared for you and your gifts and gave you reverence of your own and honor you for who you are as an individual and a person that is following this particular path, is that, there's no jealousy. There's just love.
It is really
That's
pure,
a big
pure
darn deal.
love. I
Right.
mean, now there is some, there's
Well, yeah, they
some
get
people that try to go that route, but
Yeah.
they don't win in the end.
No, they
on
don't.
that.
And that's when I say it is my contention that because I believe that there are two teams, the winning team, the good team that all of us are born on. If you can think of the worst person you ever came across or saw on the news or movies or whatever, they are all born on the right team, all going to be on the winner team, except for they listen to the wrong voice and they're led astray and they go do the other thing and they are working for the losing team. It is the losing team. It will always lose. It will never win. And you're there either stuck because somebody's got you not moving forward in the positive side. So even if you're not working or playing on the negative team, if you're held still stuck, not working your gifts and your knowledge and your love, then you're not working for anybody. And the positive team, the winning team, wants you, but cannot chase you. You were given free will on this planet. And all you have to do is turn around and go back. In the New Testament times, people keep reading that Old Testament. I'm going to tell you, it's scary and nasty, and we're not there. Once you decide and accept that you have been forgiven, the only thing to do is go back to the one that loves you, whether it's, myself talking to Lisa, or even the polar bear. If there's a scrap, there has to be some sort of, counsel or consultation that says, I've done wrong, I apologize, and get back on the winning team. But, I am not God, but I am of God. And I can tell you, I chase no one. If someone walks away from me, it is a lighter load for me. God doesn't think that way, but I've got more time on my hands because people that are in my life, I like them very much. I want to help them in any way I can.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
So, and that's
I've
why
always, ever since a child,
Yeah.
I've always been helping,
well,
trying to help.
I
and-
help the animals, and the animals led me back to
Yeah.
people. Isn't God?
Oh, I like animals as well.
God's tricky. He got me working for the people. But anyway, so we've got a very short amount of time here. What I do want to say is, on a lighter note, the joy that Lisa brings in conversations and talking about her family, I would like to go there because I was sharing on another podcast is that, I'm moving my arms. I said, well, I'm not Italian, but my arms think they are. So yesterday, we had lunch and we're with another wonderful friend of mine, Sandy.
She's very nice.
I went to treat Lisa to lunch and then Sandy treated us both.
Oh, it was wonderful.
What a
I know.
Yeah, it was a wonderful time. But Lisa got rolling talking about her dad, and we had also talked about some rescue animals and doing that kind of work. But humor is a rescue of its own.
Laughter is one of the best medicines.
Right? Oh, amen.
It really is.
I want to check this time to make sure we get out here because they want to go home. But I want to make use of this time and just go into that. I mean, if you can find something that is humorous that is not at the cost of someone else.
Yes, of course, and like a lot of people are very serious, and when I do go to lodgings and stuff like that, and I am serious, but I surely making people laugh at the same time. How do I do it? I don't know,
right?
But a little or and that's what I'm saying. A little. Not while they're praying, mind you, I wait to the right time.
I was at I gotta interrupt. I was in a lodge once, a sweat lodge.
Yeah.
And
not in the lodge,
no,
se
but in the lodge. They wanted, somebody wanted to come up with songs, and I said, I don't know. And they said, any. I said, okay, row, row, row your boat.
No,
I'm going to tell you, little chief there didn't really like that, but everybody was taking renditions of row, row, row your boat. And it was fun.
It was great.
In the lodge, let's describe this.
Well, they
making
tell you,
hand gestures.
Someone asks you to sing a song, and that's the one you got. That's the one you're going to sing.
Yeah, but the lodge, in this particular case, the sweat lodge, is referred to, as, according to me, like a womb.
Yeah,
it is above ground. It's kind of like a half of a ball, let's say, and something that has the flap in, and you go in and that's an experience. And when I describe it in a very funny way, but it is not like we're all crammed in there like a litter. But the truth of the matter is, it's very serious. It's a wonderful experience. It's treasured. It's honored. And I have a little white girl perception of it. So I'm not going to, I do that one-on-one with people because I don't want to make a joke of anything. But I'm going to just for the focus, for the vision of these people to see, if you've got a mother, about to deliver a baby. Even a cat, let's say, because they have litters, or a octomom. She got, 8 of them in there. Is that this dome with the flap on it, and if you're crawling back into the womb and you're just packing in there, it's like, there's not.
You're not always, but yeah.
For me it was. We're talking a lot. But anyway, so it when you're whatever it is.
Makes you stronger, Lisa. Sitting still and up like that.
Yeah, I wasn't really good like that.
Yeah, and it's rough, but it makes you stronger.
But yes, it does, and that's the key. So I do. We've got how much time do we have here? Because I want to really go into your dad because he's a cool dude, and if you don't mind, because I had you share a little bit with Sandy, and so the humor that you have and how you see your dad. And the fact that he was Italian and how he saw things, if you could just share, because even now, even though the last podcast, you looked a little serious, and you were uncomfortable with the mic and everything, but this is really just how we talk. And if they could just witness, like I said, my arms are like, my arms are Italian, but let me just just share with the people. This is family stuff, I wish mine was as rich as your experience, but he got a bill or something, right? Or taxes or something? Something came in the mail.
I was just
giving an example.
I was giving you an example of
how he responds to things.
How some typical Italians would respond to a letter in the mail that has anything to do with money that they owe or
but how he said it. Because I cannot duplicate what you said and how you did it. When you were flipping the paper, get a piece of paper and just pretend you're flipping it. So you got this envelope and you're picking it up and just share it.
I don't know.
Oh, no. It's so cute. Well, you said it was like a typical Italian, like something you would see on a sitcom. I was roaring. So this isn't about your dad. It's about Italians and how they can respond to things.
Just about Italians in general. Some of them, like truly. When something they could read it fine, but they for some reason don't understand it because they owe money to somebody, and then they'll say, hey, didn't he come over for dinner 4 times? He didn't even bring a bottle of wine. What is this? What is this letter? Hey, Dino, get over here. Check this out. I I can't believe this guy, that son of a, and they are so funny, and they'll invite you over dinner pretty much to funnily make fun of you as well, and they're hilarious.
Right.
But
I'm going to share with you. So in my household, not Italian, but my dad was just as comical. But
hilarious.
he would get a bill collector calling on the phone, and I was standing there watching him. But I learned from him two things. This is here. My mother taught me how to lie. I don't know that she recognized that, but in my dad's case, so a bill collector call. I mean, I know this looking back at it. I didn't know at the time. So as a little girl, I'm watching him, and he says, "Well, I've got your name in the hat." And then I hear him say, "Yes, your name is in the hat." Because the bill collector's on the other guy. Are you sure my name's in the hat? Like you're getting a turn.
Right.
But he was just good. He was,
these are Italians that was my dad as a kid.
Mhm.
That's what I'm
Right.
kind of.
Right. You're yes.
Yeah, they are funny.
Right. I got to tell you. So with my mom, I mean, this is children are listening. So, and this is when the phones were stuck to the walls. This isn't cell phones and such. And so the
good days.
phone, yeah, right. Yeah, where you can leave them alone.
Yeah, I can take
geez.
off.
Yeah, right. So, or get tangled up in that cord.
Yeah.
It's twisting and untwisting. But anyway, so my mom, a phone call came in, and my the phone call was for me, and I told my mom, no, I don't want to take that call. And my mother says, ushers me out of the room. And I'm standing, literally, she's in the hallway or kitchen, whatever, and I'm in the living room, and I'm watching her. And she says, "I'm sorry, she's not here." And I thought, oh, that's a good piece of information. Oh, and then I'm thinking of another call that came in to my house that I had, my first house. The phone rang, and I'm thinking, I don't know who this is. You don't have caller ID at that time. And I pick it up, and I say, hello, and they say, is Lisa there? I said, no, I'm sorry, she's not. They said, okay. So I hang up the phone, and my friend came over, and I said, I got the most unusual call. She says, what is it? I said, they call asking for me. She says, who was it? I said, I don't know. I told them I wasn't home. I never did find out who that was. So anyway, so we get things that we ask for. If you can find humor in anything, I mean, others might not understand that you're laughing at certain things, but it is a comical place down here. Being in the flesh is a comical thing.
I do get serious.
I mean, really, we can't even scratch our own backs.
No, I know. I do get serious about things, but I find a bit of laughter every day for me. I've been actually working on it more, like these little bits I've been doing.
God. Oh, you're hilarious.
Take him to the road. I'm not sure.
No, Sandy says we should have gotten her outside and sold tickets.
Yeah, I was pretty loud in there.
Oh,
I couldn't believe I just went into a different state. I don't know what happened. But they are funny.
You're brilliant, and I can imagine. I can imagine you at the native gatherings.
Yes, we have a good time. I really do have a wonderful time.
Right,
I do. I'm very grateful,
and that's a good thing too.
Sometimes I can leave very frustrated and think, and then I call, and say, listen, we've all got our things. I put you guys through a lot of things for many years.
But you acknowledged it.
I did acknowledge it.
Isn't that big?
Very big.
To realize that you did do something, go back and apologize. I'm telling people, it's the same thing with God. I mean, you cannot tick this guy off, this God of ours.
Oh, I know.
And so good people, real people, real good, loving, kind people aren't going to hold a grudge if you come back and say, hey, I know, boy, what a bonehead move that was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they've really, it happened to be about the flu. We got in this conversation, and I just had an opinion, which I did not have to say in the first place.
Right.
I had one friend of mine say, you don't have to say everything that's on your mind all the time.
We don't.
You don't. Should have told me that 20 years ago. It would be less half of the trouble I'm in now.
Hey, it's an opinion. They're everywhere.
But
take it or leave it. It doesn't matter.
No, it was good advice.
Let me share
I
with
liked
you.
Her advice.
In this, I want to say to that, advice and things like that and opinions. And the people that want to come against you, if you are firm in your belief in anything that you believe.
It's been tricky the last couple of years.
Yeah, but I assure you, I've got knowledge, and nobody can rock my boat.
I know.
I tell people, I said, I get miracles. Do you? Life and death miracles. I see and hear things like nobody's business. And there is no book that people are reading that can have a conversation like I have with God.
Right.
And I'm encouraging people to do the same. And I
Sure.
love the fact that people want to talk to angels, but you need to know that angels are sent out by God. I like to
Of
go to the
course.
boss. Talk to the angels if you wish. Go
Right.
to this. In fact, I refer to Jesus as, people say you need to go to Jesus. I'm thinking, why would I go to the secretary when I can go to the boss? So I was referring to Jesus as the secretary. And I was, the first 9 years of my life, I was supposedly raised as Catholic. Now, I did not have any of the problems that people have with the Catholic religion. But looking at what people are going through and what they did, that's a whole other ballgame. So the good news is I was always me. I stood my ground. It turned out I was intimidating to my mother. I'm finding that out after the age of 40. Just be who you are. If you are confident and your life is working for you and what you think and know works for you, let the others leave. You're not running out of people. You and anybody I'm talking to out there. God has made so many of them. I question, what are you doing up there? But he loves them. And it took me a long time to recognize I may not like the people, but I absolutely love the spirit within. So that and animals is what brought me here. God, look, the podcast is not something I sought, but I was led to it. I'm going to also mention Pat Caparucio. He's an improv teacher. I mentioned him on another podcast. He is the one that, ultimately made me aware of this station. He is brilliant. I highly recommend anyone to step out of their box for a minute, take one of his classes that are so extraordinarily reasonable, and he is so giving with his time and his knowledge. It would be foolish not to tap into that resource. And the same thing coming here, and the same thing with this station. There are classes here. The podcast was, I forget the amount, well under $100. It was a 2-day class, a few hours, and then you get to use the equipment. Where do you go to get that? You know what I mean? It's brilliant. We're in the state-of-the-art studio.
Yeah.
We're not doing it from home on a
nice.
cell phone.
Yeah, I've never.
It's fabulous.
Yeah.
But this is the same thing. I know you say that you were uncomfortable. You didn't know how to say. Well, wait. But the reason I'm saying that is I can talk to anybody about anything that I believe in. I have no problem. I'm talking to, drum roll, please. We are going to wind this down, but I'm just saying, just be confident with yourself, and not just you, but the people I'm talking to,
sure.
and just stand your ground. And if the people, if you don't agree with what's going on around you, and you're in their house or their business, then you need to go. And if that's happening in your life, in your house, then they need to go. And it leads to me this statement. I don't recall if this was a voice of God telling me, or I heard it from a voice of God working through somebody. And I just don't think it was a human voice, a human that put it through. God, okay, I love that sneeze, and I'm going to tell you why. I said it on another podcast, but a sneeze is a sign of approval. And meaning saying yes to that. So your spirit within you has just said yes to what I was saying about, the God thing. So listen closely.
Yeah, well, I sneezed once.
Right. So and it came out of nowhere, so to speak. So the proof of that particular gleaning of the message and the teaching that I'm giving at the moment about sneezing is if you watch your animals, if you have any dogs or cats, and you're going to give them a treat, you're going to see them sneeze. They all do. And it's like sneeze, sneeze, sniff, sniff. And you're saying, yeah, this animal's saying, yeah, give it to me. Give me that cookie. And that goes for TV. That goes for someone standing outside the building. That goes for you sneezing when somebody else says something, just like you did. Or me sneezing when I watch something on the television. If I sneeze, it's an agreement. This is right, true information. So listen to the podcast a little closer there so you glean what was so accurate that her spirit agreed with me. So in regards to that, the whole message and who you are, stand your ground. And if you are in your house, that you ask them to leave. The point is this, is the phrase that came out of either to God, from God to me, or from God, through another person. I really believe it was audio and not, in person. But the statement is this, is that saints don't argue. And the reason they don't is because they're already right. People who argue and debate or come against people need you to change or need to be right themselves. It's interesting. So anytime I go to argue or debate, I'm thinking, I don't need to argue that. I'm already right in my own mind.
Yeah. I really don't like arguing. That's not my not my forte.
No, it isn't. And I love you for who you are, Lisa. I'm so glad that you came and joined me. I'm so glad we had to visit before, and I am excited to have you come to my property. Not, you heard on this podcast a number of times that I don't have people to my property.
I know. It's
but
very
Lisa,
nice of you.
But Lisa has already been there. decades ago, or at least a decade or more ago.
Yeah. Yes.
So we're gonna make that happen, and I thank you ever so much. And please come back.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank
love
you for having me.
Okay, we're gonna wind this down, and
All
thank
right.
you very much. And again, we have a prayer line if you want to call and ask for a prayer. Yeah, and that number is 810-724-3223. Only leave your first name and what it is you desire. I know God really well, and if you going to Him and you're not getting a response like you think you should, I have you back. I'm expecting to deliver. The only person, place, or thing that can give a guarantee is God, and I can guarantee I will go to Him and see what He's got to say and put it on His lap if you don't think it's working as fast for you as you hoped it will. Thank you ever so much, and we'll talk with you again soon. God bless.